let's dive deeper and have a conversation here about what's going on with golf and the golf world. We got the story this morning. Bryson heading over to Saudi yesterday. Phil Mickelson in his NWO gear, wearing all black, looking like a cool villain, heading over there, and he's getting all the arrows, and I understandably so. But he's not the only one, Joe. I mean, they're putting together a hefty group of golfers here. I mean, it's going to get us probably to watch, maybe to bet on. Like this has become. I wonder how the PGA responds now, because right now it seems like they're going to let them just go over there, do their thing, and then come back.
So I don't know. I don't think we have clarity on that. I feel like I have to change my position now because of the names they're adding. Yet a day ago, I see a bunch of has-beens about a bunch of guys that hit the prime of the career and they're falling off. But just because you're falling off, just because you're no longer winning majors or competing in majors, it doesn't mean that you have to retire. You can play this sport a really long time. You can collect a lot of checks and you make the schedule. That's what's so great about being on the PGA Tour. You play when you want to play for the most part. And as of yesterday, I was like, this is a joke. There is no one golfer that's bigger than it all. Most people would say Tiger. I would disagree because I'm watching with or without Tiger. Doesn't impact me in the least. It just impacts how popular an event may be, among others. But it didn't bother me. But and that's what I was thinking about with DJ, because that was the one, like, okay, superstar golfers, won a couple of majors. He's a threat any weekend to win. He's a threat any major he enters right now still. As far as I'm concerned, he's good. He's an all-timer. He's going to be looked at that. Like, that was a tough blow. But he's not bigger than the sport. He's not bigger than the tour. But the names that are popping out this morning, I'm like, okay, do I need to shift my opinion on this? Because I felt it takes a lot of time and energy to watch and handicap one tour. Am I going to do it for 2 or 3? Probably not. It's not like it's the NFL, college football, NBA. We're not at that level for our jobs where we have to know everything about every tour. But what I am seeing is they're not the best golfers in the world, but they're viewed as guys that have been top 20 on a consistent basis. Now they're bringing in a number of players. And the players I'm talking about are Patrick Reed and Bryson DeChambeau. That came out earlier this morning. That's big. Not saying they're getting top 5 golfers. A year ago, people would have made that argument for Bryson.
Right.
But what you're getting are 2 guys that bring in eyeballs. Two guys that people like to talk about because they're villains of the sport. And Patrick Reed, some call him Captain America. He's always on the Ryder Cup team. He left. That is another major champion. And then you've got Bryson. Most people hate him, but they have strong opinions on Bryson. They may watch his interview, and they're going to swear under their breath because they can't take the guy. Like, he's so over the top, and his ego's out of control. Bryson versus Koepka. I was all on Team Brooksy. But that's a loss. Mm-hmm. When you're talking, they're not the best golfers in the world, but they're really good. They're a threat, I'd say, in most weeks to pop and win, and they get people talking. And now they're gone. I think they're gone, right? We'll see about the majors, but is this legitimate now? I kind of feel like it is.
Well, it does. And I wonder now, okay, so we have more golfers going over. We have some big names. We have legitimate names. How does this get handled coverage-wise? Because right now the coverage is negative. Like, are you guys kidding me? You're taking the money. You're going there. It's wrong. You're selling your soul. And I mean, I understand the perspective of it feels uncomfortable. Like, they're going to a place where I don't think anybody is on board with the way people are treated in over there in Saudi Arabia, but they're going to play. Mm-hmm. So is it going to be on network television, or are we going to watch this like we watch regular golf, or is it going to be like we're going to follow it? Like, is the Golf Network going to be there? Is the Golf Channel going to?
It's on YouTube and Facebook.
So right now it's very low level, because that's still low level. I know you can stream those. It's not that hard, but that's still not mainstream, right? The regular golf fan is going to turn on CBS or Golf Network and watch their tournament. Is this going to change? as more
But if you
golfers
want to
go over there?
watch it, it's there. I mean, look at what we're
Yeah,
talking about with the NFL. NFL
right.
primetime games are going to be on Amazon. And most people, if you click the main menu, there's an apps button and YouTube's there. You'll be able
Sure.
to find it. And if it works, they'll find other ways to monetize it outside of YouTube and Facebook. So it's going to be available. It's going to be available for people. It's not as complicated as it once was, and that's changing every single day. Once the NFL does it, I mean, it's happening everywhere. So I don't think that's a problem. But so the negative reaction, isn't it always temporary? As awful as it's been, isn't it always? Are people going to be enraged for months about this? I think they know that they won't be. They won't
Yeah.
be. And these golfers are so rich. This is also interesting. You realize these golfers that are leaving, how much money they've already made, and they're going for checks.
So what do you think the end game is? Do you think they're trying to change the money structure of the PGA, and this is going to put pressure on the PGA
Well,
on
that's
the
what Phil
tour?
talked about.
Yeah, that's what it feels like the end game is, and I feel like Phil has gotten some of these guys to be on board with him. Like, come over here, we do this together, strengthen numbers, and then they're going to have to pay us more. It's going to change, otherwise. Because I can't imagine it's a long term strategy. Like I'm gonna go live in Saudi Arabia and play golf for the next 10 years. I wouldn't think that's the future here, but short term thing to put some pressure on the PGA.
Just forget about the sponsors that Dustin Johnson has, or had, I should say, because he just lost some over the last week. His career earnings, just golf stuff, is 74 million.
Wow.
74 million already. So, and I understand. Geez, is this accurate? See, I'm seeing like numbers of 200 million, which doesn't surprise me. The guy barely has a pulse. He's got no personality,
Mm-hmm.
and these companies couldn't wait to spend a lot of money on him. But now that they're gone, yeah. So it was 74 million in prize money, but
Right.
then when you add some of the other stuff, endorsements, appearances, all that, through 2021, DJ was making 200 million, and he wants
So,
more. When's enough?
well, isn't that all these athletes and all
What,
every
what,
sport?
well, what has to help me out here? What has to change? Are you guys? They're seriously not making enough money?
Is like right. So your point is like, what kind of change do they want here?
Yeah,
Like, how much more do they want? I don't know. I don't know what they're. I guess it's just like, are they just trying to move the needle more and more and more?
you can play longer than any of these other athletes. You're under the radar, making more money than most of these other athletes. Even if we go top 1%, what's top 1% in the NFL make? Do they
Top one.
touch golfers?
So the Rogers of the world. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Mahomes,
maybe they do, right, on an annual basis. Maybe they do, but that's it,
Brady.
right? Yeah, at the top.
That's the list. That's the list. What else do you want? You're making a lot of money.
But is
So
it a
I don't
percentage
understand.
thing? Like PGA is taking this much of the pie, more of it should be distributed to the players.
Right. It's not about we're not making. It's not fair. It's about fairness. Could be.
Yeah, I mean, listen, also, do we have to take a look at where golf is in the landscape of the sports world, too? The amount of money they're making, should they even be making that much money compared to the other more popular sports? Paul, are you going to watch? Are you going to be interested at all now? Is it on your radar?
No.
I was saying no
No.
yesterday, but it's not. This is not going to stop. That's my point. Now I see what's happening, and the guys that made the tough decision already did it. Like, the pressure is going to ease up moving forward a little bit.
So where they might gain some traction is, I think we've all kind of said this, like golf is one of the sports, if not the sport, helped the most by sports betting, right? So if these casual fans, and I mean, I'd say I consider myself a casual golf fan that's enjoyed it more and more. I mean, if there's a tournament on and you can bet on it, I don't know. Is it the USFL where it's like, all right, I'll watch a weekend and then forget about it? Or if golf's on and you can bet on it, golf's on and you can bet on it. I don't know
Yeah.
yet. Like you've got those names, right? I mean, so that's kind of a draw. Like, for example, was it the Canadian Open something or other that's going on this week? I'm not gonna watch any of
RBC.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not watching any of that. But so I don't know that I'll necessarily be drawn to that. I'm a majors person. If like we have a guest on and they have like, hey, this we got some value on this guy here, and it happens to be an LIV tournament, sure. I mean, I might dabble and watch a little bit of it, but I'm not someone that's gonna watch 4 days. Other than like the majors, I'm not gonna watch 4 days of golf as it is. So I don't know like what the if I catch a little bit of it, I'm not gonna seek it out. But yeah, I just don't know if it's like a off the radar kind of a USFL, is never gonna compete, or if golf's golf for most casual fans, and if Phil's playing and he's on.
I think
What are the
golf's
hours
golf.
going to be? What are
Well,
the
that's
hours going to
that's
be?
part of it. But I think golf is golf. It's an individual sport. As long as the course is representative, it's not like the USFL. Like that's nothing like the NFL. Like it's bad football.
Right.
Like I can't bet on that. I have no idea how they're going to score. But like if Phil's playing and it's a regular golf course, it's just golf. I think people will still bet on it. But Joe, your point about the time change, will people watch this? I don't know if people will watch this.
Well, London this week, it's at normal times for US
Right.
viewers.
Right.
So not a big change. It's interesting that career earnings of the active players, Phil's 2, DJ's 3, they're both gone. The guys that have made a ton of money from the PGA Tour are out.
So currently it's 5:33 p.m. I'm in the East time, right? So it's 10:33 a.m. Eastern time where I'm sitting right now. It's 5:33 p.m. over there. So if they play morning, it'd be a morning night kind of thing with prime time, or they have to move it around.
Listen,
Well,
I probably
here's
like
the
golf
golf
more than
schedule.
anybody else on the show. I'll tell you flat out. I mean, just with our jobs and everything that we have to do and all our responsibilities and the sports that we have to talk about, know inside and out, I'm not following multiple tours. I'll tell you that right now. And I don't watch every tournament 4 days. I follow it every weekend, but I'm not watching all 4 days. We all have too much stuff going on. But I am not following multiple tours. I don't follow the European tour. Like I pay
Right.
attention who wins the Irish Open and setting up for some majors. I pay attention to the majors over on that tour to see who wins, but I'm not getting up at 2, 3 a.m. and watching that stuff.
But so it's interesting. I had no idea what the schedule was either until I just looked at it because I'd seen something about Portland. So it's London, Portland, Oregon, Bedminster, New Jersey, Boston, Chicago, Bangkok. Probably no one's watching that. This is the exact opposite time of day. Saudi Arabia, similar. Miami. So the majority of events are in our time zone-ish.
Yep. This suddenly feels real. It just felt like it was feeling like the golf league, the golf tour that had all the has-beens. But now you're bringing in intriguing personalities, and that's what's different.
And
Phil,
from a production standpoint, like miking guys up more and more. Like if you have free reign to do all that, I would hope you would, with all that money going to them. Like, hey, I'll do anything.
Tour did nothing, and the TV coverage has been pretty terrible, especially when it's on NBC. I think CBS is better, but NBC's trash.
I also wonder if the average fan and bettor is going to care and think about the other stuff. Like it's obviously the headline, it's part of the headline, but once they start playing,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I mean,
it's a talking point. It's a news story. Journalists bring it up. It's fair to talk about, but like, I don't know. I don't know if people are going to care that much once they start playing.
Wondering, like, is this going to be the first thing that competitor that latches on? Like the KBO was a fad, USFL, for a weekend. Like, will this have any staying power?
XFL.
Yeah, this one has a chance.
Has a chance.
Individuals, high-profile individuals, that moves things.